Hey there, this is your spiritual alignment coach and mentor, Cortney Browning. Welcome to another episode of Unhindered Woman. Are you ready for some hashtag real talk that will inspire and serve you, my performance driven Christian sisters? A conversation that will deepen and personalize your relationship with God by revising the routine scripts you've been taught about Christianity. This is not to be a replacement for professional counseling and/or legal advice. Hey sis, grab your hot beverage of choice along with your journal and pen, and let's get into it. This episode is definitely going to be different than all of the other episodes that you have listened in on. This particular episode is going to be a recording of a live interview that I did with my client, Melissa. And of course, like all the other sessions, there's nuggets in here that came hot off the press because it was a live conversation. And what I love about it is there's some very transparent, vulnerable, and somewhat shocking moments within the interview that we just want with God, right? We want this vulnerability and this transparency with God where there's no holding back anything. And I'm so thankful that Melissa allowed that to take place. And so with that, I want to say, for those of you that have children listening around you, they're in close proximity with you, I want to give you a bit of a warning that there is something that is said that you will not necessarily want your children to be around to listen in on. So, if you're listening in and you recognize that your kids are nearby, you may want to just put this on pause and do it at a more convenient time. However, that being said, make sure you get to this because it's really going to bless you to see how God really works in the room with myself and my clients. And shout out to Melissa, girlfriend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so with that, enjoy this episode. So here we are.
I love that it looks like it's just like a regular session with us. I'm like, remember the
yes, because for me, it's a bit, well, that was my heart, right? My heart was for women to see what it's like to be with me and work with me. And so, yes, I agree. Because otherwise, nervous Nellie Cortney will be like,
Have you ever shown up nervous? I was just going to say, if this was a real session, ladies, I might not have showered. My hair is often in a high bun when I meet up with Cortney. But
you go in there.
It's real talk, right? Real talk with Cortney. That's my mind.
This is true.
Do you ever get nervous for a session?
All the time.
All the time. And is it because, Kate, this is some insider stuff, guys. Is it because you don't know? You never know what's going to happen. Is it that?
Yes, it's partially that. And I would also say that even though I read your pre-session form, and so I have an indicator of what it is that we're going to be chatting about, there is this element of, Lord, I'm not you. And so, yes, I am anointed as a coach. And I know that that is how I function in my role with you. There is an element of the coach of all coaches needs to be dominant and in the room. And I need to be unattached to your outcome. I need to not think that I have to think of the questions to ask you.
Right.
So there's a lot of getting rid of self that I get nervous about because let's just be honest, life is happening to me just like it happens to all of you as my clients. And sometimes life can be so heavy that if I'm not careful to be centered and to really give God room, which is why every session starts with prayer.
For me. Oh, it's for you.
Oh, yes, it's for you, but it is also getting me right where we need to be so that it is, I'm giving God permission to take over. Because even when you fill out that pre-session form, he ultimately knows what you need in that session, and he knows the results that you need to have. And so I don't want to get in the way of that.
Yeah. And that's like what I love about your coaching. So you like, it's so different. There's no program that we're graduating out of. It's not, here's the modules and we're doing this and this and this. It is like safe space for leaders, which I'm such a huge proponent of, like for all the women who are in here who are leading in some capacity. Mm-hmm. It's like, where is your space? Mm. Not only amongst your peers, be yourself, because I've got that too. It's not like you're the only person I can ever talk to. True. But it's like, who has gone before you? Who's doing what you want to be doing that you can be real with, right? Some mentorships, you still got to show up on your A game, right? You still have to like, because you're there to get results and da-da-da-da-da. You, and it doesn't matter. It always, I'm like, does she know she's going to say this? It doesn't matter what we say in the call. At the end, you always say, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, again? And it doesn't matter if I'm sassy. You guys have no idea the range, and I'm just one client. The range of emotions you get from us is just, sometimes it's just all the tears. Yeah. And sometimes it's all the sass. And sometimes it's like a little bit standoffish. Like, I don't know. I do not know. Yeah. And when we got together, I had no idea where we were going to go. And that is the beauty also of when you join a lot of programs, you're like, I'm going there to get X result. And certainly here, if you are being nudged, if you're being called to deeper intimacy with the Lord, if you know, hey, that the vision I have or the things I want to do, I know I can't sustain that on my own. I know I'm going to actually need God to make the way for me and for me to just have him flow through me. Yeah. Do this in partnership, then you are going to get that. Your whole thing is intimacy. Like you are going to get that. But there's a lot of surprises along the way. What that looks like.
Oh, yeah. 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 Before we get into that surprise, and I'm going to write that word down because that's where we're going with this, right? Is your surprise, having no clue what that would be. Tell everybody about you a little bit.
Okay. Hi, I'm Melissa.
Because we just jumped right into it, as we always do. Yes. Yeah.
So I'm Melissa. I actually first was introduced to Cortney in Anita Albert Watson's
Hold on. Love Anita. Thank you, Anita. And she knows what I mean by that. It is an all-inclusive word of how much she has been such a blessing to me. So shout out to Anita. Love you, girlfriend. I hope your birthday yesterday was amazing. Yes.
I saw the photo from the hotel. Yeah. Okay. So you were the spiritual alignment coach, and man, did we turn up for those calls. Anyway. So I have been a writer for a long time, storyteller for a long time. I was a journalist. I did human interest pieces. I would go into people's living rooms and just like, I would never take notes. I learned very quickly, I don't take notes. I record it on my phone. I put my phone out of sight and I absorb what is happening when you're telling me what's happening in your voice. I'm obsessed with the story behind the story. I was never a reporter. or journalist in that traditional sense, but a storyteller. So been doing that for years. And then I was pregnant and I told God, okay, I'm going to give birth and I'm going to take some time off and then I need a new job. And so my friend, she was getting into the coaching industry. This is 2020, May 2020. And she asked me if I'll come alongside her and do writing for her on social media. I've been off for years, since 2014. I'd been off social media. Wow. But I'm like, okay, I'll try my hand at this, like in the online business world. And so that was just fascinating, and realizing all the possibilities for women who are in thought leadership and the stories they get to tell. And so I was just like a kid in a candy store. I learned how to build funnels. And so I went off on my own to do business. And that's why I was in the Bay program. I was building funnels. And you guys were like, I don't know if you're being authentic. That word, authentic, authenticity, that came up so much for me, which is a prime reason why after the Bay program, I was like, can we work together? Yeah. Because it's just like, I was like, what is that? I love authenticity. I love pulling out the gold in people as a writer. I'm like, as if I'm going to have that be the thing about me. And I told you guys, I was like, I'm so offended. I am so offended. So anyways, I decided.
Wait. That's really good, because that's one of those surprises that you got.
Yeah. I did not know my authentic self was going to be this girl.
Yeah. That's one of those surprises that you got. Yeah.
We want to be our fullest, right? We want to be our fullest version of ourselves and like walk in authenticity. And man, if you're going to do that, you got to go to the basement of your soul.
Uh-oh.
There's some stuff in there. There is some stuff in there. And that has been the journey. I do not anticipate that journey is now over.
No, because you're about to reveal the surprise of why you know for sure, at least at this point, that journey is not over.
Yes. So how do I even say this? So, and it's like, so the Lord, right? How do you say this with a smile on your face? Yeah. So, okay. I have been separated from my husband for 4 years. He lives in another country, but I would go and visit him. We have one child together. And I, this whole time, have been standing in faith for marriage restoration in my heart the whole time, and really received some encouraging words along the journey, including a prophetic word from Cortney that blessed my socks off when I was in that Bay program. Yeah. And so then it was June of this year. So like 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago. And I'm having a vision with the Lord, and Cortney and I had talked about this kind of stuff before, but we kind of set it aside. And I get a vision from the Lord where he's asking me to surrender my marriage. And I was like, what? To go through those 4 years of being built up in the Lord, in my faith. And then for him to say that was like, what in the world is happening? Like, you feel like you're spinning. And so I brought it to a couple of people, including yourself, for confirmation, to test it. And that's one thing I love about you, Cortney. You flow in the prophetic, but there is about 17 Bibles, like, all open on your desk. I mean, probably not. They're electronic. it'll always be, you'll always be like, oh, you gotta check. And then you'll jump to another translation. You're like, but I really like it in this. And so I love that spirit and truth, like you just carry it so naturally. And so we started having some really raw conversations, wrestling with, but like, what does this mean and how could this be? And just seeing the Lord's kindness and his gentleness on me outside of our sessions, and then his confirmations for me inside of our sessions. He would say things and I'm like, did you just say that? And a direct answer to prayer, like word for word, or it's just like you're saying something in your prayer that's got me just feeling seen. When you can feel seen, known, and loved by God in that space, you can have great courage to do the last thing you want to do. And so
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I should have asked you this. Well, I couldn't have asked you this up front, right? Because we did say, like, how is this going to flow before we got on here, right? And I'm like, gosh, this is not going to be any different than how God leads me. It's just going to be very organic. And so I'm just going to ask you a question that I'm uncomfortable to ask you.
Okay.
A little bit. And yet I think I think you're ready for it. And that is, while going through this, how has it been for you to really go there with God? Have you struggled in that? What does that look like? Not did, because we're still in the midst of this. Like, this is, like you said, it just started in June, that this is a revelation of, this is how this is going to go.
Yeah. All the thing, like, I can feel very, very sweetly comforted by him, but there are certainly times when, I mean, it's been arranged. I remember telling you, like, the session after we talked about this, and I think I started the legal whatever process, I was like, I went to the secret place today and I was in high heels and a sparkly bodysuit. Like, what's up with that, Corey? And I was like, I think he wants to dazzle me in this. So it's been this, like, weird, like, I see the expansion. We talked a lot about that. Oh, word, what is this making room for? In when I'm no longer holding on to this, how am I going to get filled? Like, so it's very exciting. But then also days where I'm just like, I don't want to go there. I'm scared. I'm so tender. I don't want to get in his presence, because what's he going to say to me next? What's he going to ask me to let go of next? Right? And you so sweetly, you said something on our last call, and now I don't remember what it was, but it's in my notes somewhere. And you were like, just so you know, if you are afraid to get in his presence, he's gonna love on you through people. He knows you're scared, and he's gonna keep sending you signs. I still see you. I still got you. I know you're scared of me, but yeah. So it has been all the things. And like I said, I did not think me becoming more authentic as Melissa, as a leader, as a storyteller, writer, helping women in their dreams. Man, I did not think it would take me here. And yet when you do things with the Lord, even if it is crushing, there's a sweetness to it. And I don't know that I would know that unless I was in safe spaces like with you. It would just feel confusing. It still feels confusing at times, but not just confusing. It also feels sweet and exciting. And yeah, so I'm very much in the middle of the story. We don't know where this is all going. And like,
true. Yeah. It's interesting as you're talking, because I'm thinking about your dynamics. And I think this is, if we're honest as the body of Christ, I think we find ourselves in this dynamic that you're in. And I share about it on my podcast, right? About, okay, so if I were not in your space, and if your other coach who you work with as far as business, if she was not in your space, if your pastor was not in your space, because those are your go-tos, and then your parents, right? If we were not in your space, because it's difficult to reach out to someone within the same body called church that you're in, sometimes in chapters like this, where would you be?
I don't think I would be doing it. We talked about this. The Lord said, I said, what do you have for me in my relationship with my husband? And he said, my protection. And then we talked about it on the last call. The timing of this. Had this happened before I started working with you and allowing myself to get a little bit offended and allowing myself to open up and to have to, like, when it's carved out, there's times when I don't want to get on the call with you, right? Same reason I don't want to get in the presence of the Lord sometimes. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I know God's going to show up, and maybe I don't want to. But having that cemented in, that consistency, that's just like, you don't want to go to the gym, but you do it and you build that consistent muscle. That is, you just don't, I would let myself off the hook a lot sooner and settle for less. But because I have a commitment with you, I go further. I go
Tell
further.
me what that looks like when you say you go further. So like in your day-to-day, being a mom and knowing this is still going on, like it's present, it's now, right? And so you're still going on. What does that look like in all the areas, all the things?
It's just nice to know I'm like, sessions with you are like little like guard posts along the way. I might be ping ponging, but I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. And if I've been having great times with the Lord, and like I said, I'm like, I know I can still get revelation from him. I know I can still operate in my gifts. But if I haven't been in intimate moments with him, if he hasn't been dwelling, I haven't invited him to dwell, then I know, man, I can get course corrected so gently with you. And something can flip for me, a perspective can flip for me, whatever. And I can continue going on. It's you help me embrace the adventure in all the things, in the single momming it, in the wait. I'm going to say it. Wait, because it's real. Wait, I can't even masturbate anymore. Wait, I can't, all the things. We get to cover all the things where I'm like, shoot. All the areas. Nothing is left untouched. It's all connected. That's how I see you, right? I have someone I talk to about business, right? Someone I talk to about physical health, all these things. And then I see you as the connector, because everything is spiritual. Our businesses are spiritual. Our motherhood is spiritual. Our friendships are spiritual. Everything is first happening in the spirit realm, and we're pulling it into reality. And so you help me sit up in my place, seated in heavenly places. You help me get there, stay there, operate from there. So it doesn't feel like things are happening to me, but I am co-creating with God, even if it looks more adventurous than I thought it would.
God never ceases to amaze me. I knew doing interviews would take me somewhere, right? And he always does this to me.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to hear a summary of where you are, where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. And to see this Melissa that so struggled with transparency and authenticity, to see the woman in front of me right now that I can truly say, you are authentic. Like there's no mask anymore. There's no knowing how to dress it up, right? There's no knowing how to put the lipstick on, put the perfume on, say the right thing, do the right thing anymore. There is this Melissa who is authentically transparent, and it's so refreshingly beautiful. What is so captivating for me in this journey with you is to see how, like, you just mentioned the word masturbate, and that probably fried some circuits up in here for sure. And yet, and what I love about that, no, do not apologize, because that says for everybody to recognize, that says that is where trust has been built, right? There's no way you would freely say something like that, because it's just you and me in this room. We aren't even looking in the Facebook group right now. And so this is really what it is. This is what it's like. It's very organic. We have no idea what's going to be said. And yet there's such safety in here because we invite God in this. And the more time you have spent with me, there is a trust that has been built to where you bring it all to the table. You hold nothing back. And what is so captivating, I was getting to that point. What is so captivating to me is how God shows up on the scene and causes such incredible transformation. And I get to get in on being in the room to witness that. It never gets old. It never gets tired. And, getting back to when we first started hearing you, it said, do I ever get nervous? That's the part I get nervous about. I don't want to get in the way of that. I don't want my humanness to get in the way of that. I don't want my thought processes. Like, imagine, Melissa, if this were to have been 5 years ago and you would have mentioned that word, my face would have been in complete shock. Like, oh my God, no, she did not just mention that word. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, oh, hey, what am I supposed to do with that? Whereas now it's just like, know everything. Bring everything to the table.
That's what we need for all the women in this group. That's what we need. We need spaces where we can say the words out of our mouth.
Any final thoughts here?
I think I had one and then I lost it. Yeah, I'm just so excited to continue on. Like I said, everything is connected. So talking about business, talking about relationships, talking about my thought life, talking about just everything, and just knowing you're having a conversation with God as I'm having a conversation with you. and he is giving you always what I need to hear, your humility, like that is what sets you apart as a coach. One of the things that sets you apart as a coach, that what you said right there, you don't want to mess it up. You have this such reverence of God because you know what he does in the room, because you've seen it time and time again, that you're like, I don't dare mess with that. And when I asked to work with you, I think started, I could be wrong, maybe you didn't cry, but
I did. Oh yeah, okay. I did.
And I remember like, God is telling me he trusts me with your heart. And I was like, whoa, I thought I was just asking, but it's like, you live in this, like, no, I get permission from the Lord as to what I say. You just have this reverence and honor for God first, and then your clients, that you just, it is just wild.
Thank you for being you. And yes, very proud of you once again. Once again, just your vulnerability, your transparency, your willingness to let God use you and really just be free, right? Like that's the thing for us as leaders, to be able to have a place where we can authentically be free to be however we are, wherever we are in the time that we're in. And so I'm a proud mama over here right now. I just love the woman that you're becoming.
Yeah,
I do.
And yeah, I think it's just so sweet of the Lord, because I ask women every day to be vulnerable in their stories, because I know those are the ones their people need to hear. And so it's really no surprise that the story I didn't want to tell, the story I never wanted to tell, is the one I'm living in. And I know it's like that vulnerability, that sharing, that does powerful stuff. So I got to do what I'm asking my clients, my people to do too.
Ooh, you just made something pop out for me just now. It's interesting, right? Because the very thing that God uses us for others, he first wants us to do the work, right? Do the work within ourselves so that we can authentically lead others into the very thing he has called us to do. Yeah. And to be alongside you in that. I like to say I'm on the sidelines, just watching it, and I'm in the cheering section, just watching this whole magnanimous thing happen in your life, and to really see that what you're doing is increasing capacity, increasing your capacity to carry. God gave you a vision of, being in this high place. And I remember saying, he gave you that vision, but now you're in the valley. And in this valley, it is what needs to be shed off of you, right? So that you can hold well what it is that he's taking you into. And yes, I'm very proud of you. You have plowed and plowed and plowed through everything so far. And I'm very confident you're going to continue. No question. Perfectly? No. Who does though?
No.
Right? So, oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. And with that, ladies, I hope you enjoy the authenticity of my sweet friend, who I love so dearly. And to work with me, there's several ways that you can. You can work with me doing an intensive. If you don't see yourself working with me for 6 months to a year, definitely we can do an intensive. But hear that word real good though. Intensive means it's intense because it's back to back, week after week. That's definitely a way that you can work with me. I personally, I'm just going to say this. I know it could fry some circuits and be uncomfortable, but as you can tell with what Melissa didn't even know would come to surface, to put this in a 1 month container, a 3 month container, even a 6 month container, that wouldn't give God the timing and the room that he needs to be able to work. And so my personal suggestion for every woman that works with me is no less than 6 months, because you really need to build traction, and you're going to have to build your trust in me that I'm going to hold your heart well. Real talk, right? Hashtag real talk. Got to put that in there. And so just know that these are ways that you can work with me. I am thinking about a mastermind of some sort, and yet I'm not going to rush to do that. Yeah, I am. Because as you can tell with working with Melissa and hearing the very gut-wrenching basement soul things that are happening, how do you create a room for women to have that together as a group? I don't know, because that's very difficult to trust people that you don't know. So I am just going to wait on God to see what that looks like.
Unless you do a retreat.
Oh, shucks. You just said that. Yeah, that just made me sweat. So hallelujah. Anyhow, I am always open for growth. Isn't that great? I get to grow right alongside you. Right? We were just talking about that before we came live. Like, I'm growing. Here's how I'm growing. Here we go. So with that, ladies, I hope you enjoyed this. Hashtag replay on this. And I'd love to hear your comments, and I'll definitely be chiming in the room. Oh, by the way, I did put a link in the comments there for you to book a coffee chat with me. If you have enjoyed this and now have been inspired to say, okay, I've been watching Cortney, I've been listening to Cortney and thinking maybe I should see what it looks like to work with her. You have a link right there in the group, or in the chat, to go ahead and book a coffee chat with me. And with that, we're going to say bye-bye for now.
Bye, girl.
Bye, ladies.
I hope you enjoyed that organic, very transparent, vulnerable conversation between Melissa and I. I have listened to it at least 10 times. It's the day, and it's only day 2 after, having done that interview with her. It just so blesses me to see what God has done and is continuing to do in her life. If you found this to be inspiring for you to take that next level step with me, please be sure to copy and paste that link that's in the description if it's not already highlighted, for you to just book a chat with me, and let's see what that looks like. And I look forward to sharing more interviews with you. I almost forgot. If you want to see the video of this interview with Melissa, you have to hop on over to my Facebook community, Unhindered Woman with Cortney Browning. There's just something about seeing the interaction in the conversation, so to speak, right? So seeing Melissa's body language, seeing my reactions, like, it just levels up the experience of this whole moment. So please, please, please consider, as a female Christian leader, to come and join my community. There's so much more that happens in there that I believe you will be blessed by. Thank you so much for joining me in this episode of Unhindered Woman. My hope is that you feel seen, known, and loved by God. This podcast is here to serve and inspire you. To explore more on how to work with me, find out what I'm up to, and where you can find me on social media, head on over to www.cortneybrowning.com. And by the way, there's no U in my first name. I'd love and appreciate it if you give me a quick review in this app that you're listening in through. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. Talk with you soon, and bye-bye for now.